There we go. Click or press A to start. Let's do mouse and keyboard for now. Alright. In other waters. Baikal exoplanet extraction. I don't know if this is another narrative-heavy game like the last one. We'll see. I don't know if I have it in my voice to go like another hour and a half narrating, but we'll give it a shot. Oh. Error detected. Building memory. Log recovered. User and sensorium disabled. And there isn't any time left. And this is going to be more restrictive than you are used to, but you are resourceful, I know you. I'm sorry, Oki, but I can't them find you. Can't lose everything we've achieved. Help. And blah, 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 blah. User disconnected. Continue with boot. Hello? Is someone there? This is Dr. Ellery Voss. I urgently need all systems of this suit activating. I've been locked out, and I'm 20 meters below the surface here. I say again, this is Dr. Ellery Voss. Can any operator personas on this suit please respond? Alright, good. Operator, activate all systems. Pilot authorization granted. Scan and topography readouts coming through. Looking good. Power panels activating. Plenty of juice. Oxygen panel is up and rebreather functioning. I'm off reserve oxygen now. Okay, good. The dive panel is active. Currently reading of 20 meters. I'm seeing the heading panel coming online. Excellent. Okay, utilities available. Let's see. Sampling, sample storage, terminal, and retrieval system seem to be installed. You don't seem to know what you were doing. You're not an operator, are you? I don't believe you. Operators are little more than voice-activated system dialogues. They don't respond like this. I knew there was something strange about this suit when I got inside. It looks decades old. Look, we don't have time for this, so whatever program or system you are, I need you to work with me. You seem to respond to voice commands, so that's a start. We need to head north. I'll explain once we get going, but right now I'm locked out of half the systems of this suit. Someone, somehow, has rewritten the permissions to only respond to internal messaging. That means you. So I'm going to need you to take control. Let's get moving. Take me north into the reef. Please. Southern Gully feature. Steep rock walls rise up toward the surface on either side. The floor is layered with pale sand. Okay. How do I move? Good. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Let's keep heading north. Narrow pass. Boulder fills the passage, blocking out the warm light of Gliese 667, CC's 3 stars. What do we do here? What can we do? Softly flowing water is filled with glittering particles of organic matter, signs of rich and thriving life all around. A bunch of yellow dots. Look, in the water, are those spores? And those stalks to the west, they look like huge fungi. This is unbelievable. Actual alien life. How could Manet have kept this place a secret? I saw her notes at the base when I landed, and some telltale signs on approach, but here it is. The first extraterrestrial life humanity has ever discovered. I can't believe it. Bed of stalks. Fungal creature made up of a series of stalks and plates attached to the rock. Color ranges from dark amber to acid yellow. These stalks are beautiful. I wonder how they feed, how they grow, how they communicate. This place, this planet, needs to be studied. Keep scanning creatures and I'll keep notes. Once we've gathered enough data, I can name and log each species. No matter what happens here, this is vital work. Southern Nursery? Be a safe haven for younger, softer species. More stalks. Are these plants or animals? They're unlike any earth coral or sponge. Membrane's external... The creature's external membrane appears to be made of layers of chitin-like earth arthropods or fungi. Alright, well, let's go to these strange stalks then. Well, what were those creatures? They were hidden among the stalks. Quickly, try to get a scan. Stalks are furred with spores. Oh, what's this? Agile creatures. Striped with luminous colors, these flexible flapping creatures move rapidly through the water with little effort. Such lively creatures, and so colorful too. I'll start logging my observations. More stalks. I'm seeing a complex pattern of contracting and expanding slits in the stalk's membrane. Mouths are sensing organs. Colonies are producing a shifting hum. Perhaps it's a form of communication between individuals. Can I gather a sample? Guess not. Go here, I guess. Sample candidate. These stalks are covered in spores of all sizes. Perhaps we can sample one of the larger ones? I'm in position. You'll have to take the sample. Open up the sampling utility. Fungal. Got one. Biological samples are vital tools for analyzing and understanding creatures. But this suit should also allow you to deploy any sample back into the ocean. How about you test it out? Hold and drag it over the central compass. Stalk spore containing a complex cocktail of minerals and compounds. Deploy inside line. Great, that's working as it should. Look, those creatures are coming for the spores. Why these ones in particular, I wonder? Perhaps the different spores carry different compounds, each with a specific purpose or message. What do you think? Could the spores be a way of communicating between different colonies? Affirmative. It isn't that strange. Fungi on Earth form networks of exchange. Maybe these stalks do the same. Anyway, sorry. I'm not sure why Let's keep moving. So I can only answer an affirmative or negative. Spores entering and exiting the slits on the surface of the stalk. Something is being exchanged. Huge rock sits among layers of lichen. Could it have been thrown here during a volcanically active period in the planet's history? Colonies seem to be broken up into individual patches and then larger groups over a wide area. So we can take another sample. And then I can move here, maybe. And release these. Appear to maneuver with a series of siphon jets concealed beneath their folded mantles. They are incredibly fast. Gathered all my data on the reef stalks. Fungal creature which communicates through sound and spores. Interlocking ecosystem seeded across the reef. I'm uploading my initial notes. Let's call these reef stalks. Classify this species in the lab. Can I take a sample of this or no? No, there's no samples. Silent clearing. Spore flow. Spores from the main part of the reef are brought into the southern nurseries here by a steady current. Among those spore-clogged stalks are piles of small stones. Could a creature have gathered them here, or just the currents? Let's go check. Sampling available. Another stalk spore. We'll hold on to that one. Samples, sample container, and whatever this is. Map data. Keep going. Hey, can I ask you something? Yes. I've worked with AI programs before, but you aren't like them. They are predictable, programmatic, dull. Their intelligence allows them to log and process data, that's all. But you are different. I feel like you are alive. Do you understand what I'm saying? No. Maybe I'm imagining things. Forget it. No, I am a boring AI. Northern current. The current running into the reef slows here, but further north the water whips down the rift with incredible speed. Can't change my depth. Alright, let's go up here. More reef stalks. Long rift. Wide along the sheer rock walls on either side, the deep rift channels unpredictable currents. Overgrown arch. It's covered in hardened stalks. Perhaps the slow current passing through brought their spores to settle here. Let's go check out this one. Seems a little safer. More life forms. A large stalk. Static creature made up of one huge flexible stalk. Unclear if swaying is due to current or produced by the stalk's own body. These huge stalks are incredible, each one a vertical ecosystem. They are leaking spores into the water as their fruiting bodies attach to their skin bloom. Many of these stalks are leaking particles into the water. Are those spores or something else? Let's get closer. almost resemble branchless trees bending in a storm. Did you see that? The stalks responded to our movement. They extended as we passed through the arch. Perhaps it was the sound we made when we moved through? We should be careful not to get trapped here. The suit's power capacity is limited. This game's making you wish Subnautica 2 will release soon. I can't do it. I've got thalassophobia, the fear of deep water. It looks so cool, like Subnautica game looks so cool, but I just... You know what? I've been working a lot on my anxiety recently. Maybe I should give it a try at some point, the first one. I never played it because I have a fear of deep water. But maybe my fear is a bit better. This game's nice and abstracted, so who knows? We're underwater, I guess. It says we are. Doesn't feel like it, though. The chitin of the stalk's membrane is very hard, but flexibility is given by a surface of overlapping plates. Feeding grounds. There's a lot of activity among the rocks ahead. Creatures are grazing on and living among the stalks, forming a complex ecosystem. Oh, what's that? Shelled creature. Mobile creature with a large translucent shell and four swimming appendages which it uses in rapid rowing motion. These creatures have such beautiful translucent shells. I'll start logging data on them as we find them. Alright, no samples here though, right? No. Okay, let's go to the feeding grounds. You don't have a fear of it, but Subnautica still tugs on some primal fears. Yeah, there's that big-ass monster or whatever that chases you all the time. Look over to the southwest. That stalk is totally calcified. Looks like a good sample candidate. This one? Plates of the stalk's surface passing one over another. Must be producing the distinctive hum that can be heard. These creatures must be related to the other stalks on the reef, but seem to have separate purpose to the lower beds. It's safe to assume the singing of these stalks relates to communication between colonies seen elsewhere on the reef. You can zoom in and out a little bit. Sing stalk. It's still the best game you've ever played? I've named these sing stalks for what strange hum they produce. What is it? What is its precise function, I wonder? Large stalks which sway, producing a distinctive hum or groan, part of the network of stalks which is found across the reef. It's the best game you've ever played? That is quite the claim. Now I'm wondering, yeah, maybe I should give it a shot. The growth gets heavier as we travel north into the stalk forest. Something about giving it that name makes it feel safer, more familiar. This huge stalk is totally still. Its plates harden into a rocky shell. Can it be revived, or is this what death looks like here? Oh, hold on, what's that? Oh, we already scanned that one. Okay, let's go check out this calcified stalk. Stalk looks dead. Open up the sampling panel and we can extract some of the outer membrane. There's lots of dead material here, so we should be able to take multiple samples. Question marks. Fungal. Okay, so the chitin appears to be hardened with calcium carbonate. That could be useful if we need to boost our power. The suit is able to metabolize organic compounds to produce fuel. Just drag them to the power plant. The suit displays how much oxygen or power each sample can produce. No point wasting important samples. With these, we can keep one sample so we can analyze it back on the base and use the other for a power boost. Stalk bark. Sample of the chitinous membrane from the stalk. Okay, so I see how the resource management starts to kick in here. Space between the rocks here is thick with stalks. The elaborate patterns they trace across the reef are beautiful. Can I take more samples? I can. Oh, no, I can't. There's no more samples here. Alright. Let's go this way. agile creature. Bear Canyon. The rocks here are clear of stalks and other growths. Is their absence a territorial marker or just a side effect of the conditions of these waters? Oh. Things closed up behind us. Cavern edge. A large cavern drops down into the reef here. Its entrance is shadowed by the surrounding rocks. Are we going down into a cavern? I don't like that. Water is still in the yawning entrance to this cavern. There are no signs of stalks or other reef life around the entrance. I'm gonna go get eaten by something. Let's do it. So now we have to go down. That's interesting. That's an interesting transition. Patchy sunlight coming through the broken cavern roof is enough to allow stalks to grow here, if that is what they require. More reef stalks. A tall, bubble-coated stalk which sits among reef stalk colonies, covered in wide, irising pores. These tall stalks seem to watch over the smaller colonies. I'll start logging notes. Soft sunlight spills down onto a long, thin stalk stretching toward the light. A coating of large glassy bubbles glitters on its skin. Let's go take a look. Sampling available. Multiple samples. Signal. 10% chance of a signal? Another 10% chance of a signal. These gaseous bubbles are intriguing. The interior gas is at an elevated pressure. If this membrane ruptured, the sac would screech as it depressurized. Is this part of the stock communication system we've seen across the reef? Wait, I have an idea. Try deploying one by that blocked tunnel over there. I want to see how the stocks react. Just drag one over. If I can find one. A spherical gas-filled membrane produced by stalks. These are stalk bark, stalk spore, and these things aren't named. So you want me to deploy one by the entrance? Over here? Clogged tunnel. Stalks mesh across the cavern here, hardened into a near-solid wall of tubes and plates. Vector blocked. Okay, so if I drop one... Oh, yeah, look at that. They retracted. These bubbles must be some kind of signal system. I'll call them shrill sacs for that squeak. We can use these to get through the heavy growth ahead. Let's get moving. I already wasted one, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Lined corner. Cavern curves away in both directions here. It's hard to see the way ahead. Sounds good. I'm a scientist. AI. So I guess you're wondering where we're headed. There's a way station just north of here, on a finger of this reef. I want to find it. My shuttle touched down just hours ago, at a floating research base to the south. That's where I found this suit. I'm here looking for Dr. Mine Nomura, chasing a message, all the way from Earth. I must sound mad, coming out here, to a planet in the tail of Scorpius, just to follow a message. Wait, do you know where we are? Don't you? No. But... how? We're on Glee 667cc, a supposedly unremarkable world. If it wasn't for all this life, some of the exoplanet extraction corps must have passed it by, but how did Mine know to come here? Is that why she contacted me, to verify her discovery? But then where is she? Look, let's find that way station, then I can start piecing together what's going on. Sounds good. I don't know what's going on either. Cavern narrows here, and small eddies of water twirl in the silt. Current can be felt drifting through the cavern entrance, bringing with it warm clouds of silt. or silt. Love me some silt. And then up. Another tall stalk. Stalks of this kind seem to produce different bubbles depending on the nearby stalks. They are the protectors of their colonies. Thin stalk sits among a bed of other growths, exuding bright bubbles through its pores. And there's a large clearing. I can't help but feel some unseen processes shaping the growth patterns in this reef. What invisible borders am I crossing? A large predator is my guess. Sampling available. There's little dudes drifting from up there. Let's take some samples. Trill sack. Got some shrill sacks. Rock outcrop. The scattered boulders and steep rifts of the southern reef suggest a violent geological past. Ooh, what are those big things? Oh, some more sink stalks. Unlike the other specimens, this large stalk sits alone, away from the lower beds. It is hard to tell if this is the beginning of a colony or its end. Stalks are more sparse between these rock outcrops. This might be the easiest path north, if I can clear the way. We've got shrill sacks, baby. Relative calm of this basin means the water is clogged with spores released by the larger stalks. They're so thick here. Sea of amber waving fingers that must be cleared before we can pass through. Okay, we've got an ad coming up. Is there a menu? There is. Very clean menu. I'm gonna take a quick break. And then I am going to add Subnautica maybe to my wish list. And I will be back. All right, I am back. Yeah, hold on real quick here. I am going to add Subnautica to my wish list. It's interesting because added. Oh, there's shortcuts. Shelled creature. I've been I have an anxiety disorder. So not just am I terribly afraid of deep water, but it also can trigger panic attacks, or has in the past anyway. But I've been going to therapy for a couple years now, and my anxiety has become far more manageable. So I'm curious to see, actually, as an experiment now, has my thalassophobia lessened at all as a result. So maybe it won't. Maybe I'll play the game for like half an hour and I'll see some horrible creature and I'll flip out and it'll make for good content. We'll see. Oh, what's that? It's another shelled creature. Okay. So we have to right. It's blocked, so we're gonna drop one of these pods there. Boom. And make a good short. That's true. Smork, it's good to start with shallow water in this game then, or is this deep too? Good to start with shallow water in this game? I'm not sure I understand. You mean as in Subnautica? I didn't get to pick. I don't get to choose where we're going, at least not at this phase in the game, so I'm not sure. I just knew that it'd be fine because it's more of like a point-and-click game than being like immersively underwater. It is underwater, but like it's so abstracted that it doesn't trigger any fears for me. It's just a big blue map in 2D. So it doesn't bother me. Navigating these dense growths is like finding your way in a labyrinth, moving from clearing to clearing with little sense of what's ahead. There's some keyboard shortcuts, which is helping me here too, that I saw in the pause menu. More tall stalks. More glittering stalks. Growth patterns of the stalks suggest a complex territorial network. Are we underestimating the complexity of these life forms? Bubbles like huge pearls glint among the stalks. How do the tall stalks produce these strange screeching sacs? Can I get to this one? I can, and it's got a sample candidate. Signal stalk. Tall bubble-producing stalks that protect and monitor stalk colonies. I'm going to call these signal stalks for the signaling role they play in the stalk ecology. A key part of the stalk network that stretches across the reef. Another shelled creature. Okay, so let's harvest some samples. Because I can, I think, use them for energy if I have to, as well. So it's good having some extra if I need them. Right? Nope. Oh, because it shows what their content is. So these have oxygen content. And these are calcium hydroxide. Free Frag, you have another game that was pretty good and way more chill. Keep Driving. Road trip game. Keep Driving. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at that. Oh, there's another one. Stock Scraper. Large creature with a translucent shell. And jointed legs for swimming and feeding. Grazes on the membranes of reef stalks. I'm naming these stock scrapers for obvious reasons. You can check my notes back at the base. Oh. They just took off. So the signal stalk, one of these stalks makes like a big screeching noise that scares the turtles away. That's interesting. Okay, so I want to go up here, but it's blocked. I'm going to drop one of these on it. And away we go. More bubble-producing stalks. Are they sentries designed for early warnings or last-ditch defenses of the colony's core? Clear path. East and west are stalks as far as the eye can see. They fade off into the silt like the towers of a miniature city. There's no sample candidate here, is there? Oh, there is. Okay, let's check that out. Shrill sacs. Shrill sac. I mean, I might as well take them since I'm here. But I don't really need oxygen right now. I need energy. So I can see kind of citizen sleeper routes here, where I need to manage resources. Upper forest. This isn't a forest, but it carries the atmosphere of one, being immersed in interlocking natural processes of life and death. Okay, let's try clearing a space here. Because we're trying to head north. That's it. We're through. This place is overwhelming. So many new species. This is the central reef. I saw in Monet's maps that the shelf flattens out here. Piled stones. A set of smooth stones sitting together in a pile. Could a creature have gathered these here? Is this a nest? There's also another game that's about exploring an... Oh, what's that? Another agile creature. There's another game I have that I only played like 30 or 40 minutes of, but is also about being stranded on an alien planet and having to, it's like a survival horror sci-fi kind of game that looked like it might be interesting too. The water beneath this outcrop feels cool, oceanic. Soft currents scrape sand from the rock face. Planet Crafter? No. No, not Planet Crafter. The one I was thinking of is called, it's in my library. I don't know what it would be under. New, maybe? Because I haven't played it. Solus Project? The Solus Project. S-O-L-U-S. You like crash land on a weird ass fucking alien planet. And you're trying to discover what the hell's going on or something. No, it's not like a survival base builder game. It's more like you can scavenge for supplies that keep you alive or like make tools and stuff. It's not like a base building game. Forest edge. Rippling silt. Ripples of silt bounce sunlight back up through the water, giving it a golden glow. Center of the reef is flat and sandy, with few rocks to attach to. The stalks struggle to seed these waters. Thought I saw... Yep, there it is. Oh, no, I already have it scanned. There it is. I see the way station ahead. The way station set up by Mine Nomura. It's seen better days, but it still functions beneath the coating of stalks. This place is looking a little worse for wear. Let me see if I can find an access port. Monet never did take care of her equipment. Some things never change. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm just trying to... Got it. Okay, we should be able to access any data stored here. Just open the terminal and take a look. Terminal available. Spoofing user, Dr. Monet Nomura. Last accessed. History cleared. Log download, yes or no? Give me power, please. And give me your map data. Sync complete. Data released to pilot's console. Logs have been cleared. I expected that, given the secrecy Monet seems to be operating under. But the map data mentions something Monet calls the Bloom, out across the northern rift. She's been going back and forth to something there, studying it. A unique species, perhaps? Monet, what were you doing here? Why were you keeping this discovery from the world, from me? I'm talking to myself again, or to whatever you are. Sorry, I don't mean... Let's head back to the research base. I need to think. With this way station operational, we can call on the base's retrieval drone from the utility panel. This drone will be able to pick us up from any area we've got map data for. Let's head to the base. I've got a lot to figure out. Sandy shelf. Smoothed pebbles. Blooming stalk. I like this game. Part of it makes me feel a little bit like Duskers, how you interact with the ships through just your drones. It feels like I'm interacting with this world just like through all the panels and everything. It's kind of got a similar feel to that too. It's an interesting game. It's got an interesting feel to it. Alright. Request retrieval. Link. Connection complete. Drone ready. Request retrieval. Transitioning. Hey, are you back online? Yes. Solace looks like a game you'll probably buy. Cool. Yeah, I never really got into it. Pretty sharp work for a biologist, if I do say so myself. Hooking up that strange casing of yours to the base took some work. And the OS here does not play nicely with whatever you are. But you should have access to select subsystems of the stack now. Monet looks to have repurposed some of them, so not everything is functional. Comms are shot, the generator is only partially working, and one of the retrieval drones is missing. But I've booted up the dive bay's mapping systems and sample storage. The lab is also online with analysis tools and an integrated taxonomy for logging creatures. Take a look. I've already logged the creatures we discovered on our last dive. For any logged creatures, I'll also put sample requests in their taxonomy entries. To fulfill these requests, just find and transfer the samples to the lab, then analyze them. I can use that data to add to the creature study. We need to register these species. Head down to the lab level and take a look. I'll also mark sample requests on the dive map. That way we can grab key samples for our studies while we are out in the ocean. And we're going back out soon. While you were offline, I spotted a signal, a suit transponder. You can see its location on the dive map. I want to find it. A suit transponder means a suit, and a suit means Monet. I'll need your help. That suit takes both of us to pilot it, and it's the only one I've got. Once you're done exploring the base, load into the dive map. We can head out from there. Alright. It's got a sample store here. So I can just put all of my samples in, I guess. Maybe one of each. Crew terminal. Life support. Crew terminal. Personal log. 01-2216 Dr. Ellery Vass. Monet is gone, and she's left behind one hell of a mess. This base is falling apart, cannibalized to build way stations out in the ocean. The communications array sliced away, life support failing. Where did she even commandeer this research base from? There's no way Baikal would have supplied it willingly, after what she did to them. What did she call me out here for? To witness her disappearance? Or did she simply want me to encounter, as she did, the impossible life of this ocean? How could it have gone ignored for hundreds of years of exploration and conquest? There are too many questions to even begin. All I can do is keep an account of what happens here, so that if I can't answer these questions, someone else might. It'll be weeks, maybe months until the next ship passes close enough to pick up my shuttle transponder. Till then, I'm alone. This place is unbelievably important, our first contact with life beyond Earth, but something else is happening here too, and I need to know what it is. Comm signal antenna damaged. Automatic repair not possible. Off-site assistance needed. Lab. Biohazard lab activated. So here we can analyze some of these samples that we've got. Lab analysis complete. Taxonomy updated. Further analysis possible. Do it. It's got a different... Turns blue, I guess? Or is that just because I have it selected? Multiple taxonomy entries updated. Got a line through it. Signal stock taxonomy entry updated. So why is this one... Further analysis possible. So do it. I just can't do that yet. Animalia novi. Arthropelta, jointed shells, stalk scraper. So that's the animal kingdom. Maybe you need to study different samples of the same species. It's possible, yeah, that I need to get another sample and study it. Maybe that's what that means. Stalk scrapers are large, translucent, shelled creatures with a distinctive swimming motion, which feed primarily on stalk colonies. Surprisingly nimble, despite their size, stalk scrapers use some of their modified limbs to swim through the water, and others to scrape away the chitinous membrane of the stalks. This is tolerated by the stalks to some degree, although they will also deploy shrill sacs to scare the scrapers away. Stalk scrapers seem to be one of the more socially active of the reef creatures, and will call to each other when grazing or when frightened. Each specimen has a unique cloud pattern on its shell. I wonder how these are formed and what their significance is within communities. Behavior. Analysis of stalk bark shows that it is chitin-based as suspected, containing glucose and high levels of polysaccharides. This makes it an ideal food source for the scrapers. But not only this, it makes stalk membrane a vital substance for lichen scraper shell formation. The more stalk membrane consumed, the larger and thicker the scraper shell will become, which explains the variance in scraper shell size and translucency. Going further, shells may also be markers of a stalk scraper's importance within the community. A larger shell means a more effective grazer, and therefore a more preferable partner. Further analysis of scraper shells is needed to continue this line of inquiry. No theories, no sketch. Study completion is required to get a sketch. Oh, so it looks like there's a lot in each of these kingdoms, and there's another kingdom that we don't have yet. Animals, fungi, plants, bacteria. That's the kingdoms. Animals, fungi, plants, and bacteria. So I don't know what the fifth one would be. Maybe there's going to be some unclassified life forms that we're going to find. Didn't I have more samples? Not of that species. No, I have a bunch of shrill sacs. I didn't have more from the... Actually, I don't think I had a sample from the the stalk scrapers at all. Those are like the turtle-like things. Reef stalks are fungal life forms which take the form of a series of stalks and plates anchored to rocky substrates. The chitin exterior ranges in color from dark amber to acid yellow, leading them to resemble oversized lichens. The outer membrane is marked with slits which expand and contract, producing a distinctive hum. These slits or pores also allow both the release of spores by each colony and the absorption of other colony spores. I'm using this term for ease, but are these really seeds or something else? Both the hum and the spore exchange seem to be part of a complex communication network between individual stalk patches or colonies. However, like earth fungi, the visible part of these stalks may only be a small part of their overall mass. What networks might connect these colonies beneath the ground? Maybe they form some kind of clonal intelligence as well. Analysis of stalk spores has revealed a rich cocktail of compounds unique to each spore, some of which are previously unknown to human chemistry. This aspect of the spores and their noticeable exchange between colonies of stock suggests that these chemical cocktails are part of an information exchange network. However, some of these spores also appear to be true spores used for the asexual reproduction of stock colonies, suggesting the information-carrying spores are adapted or modified reproductive spores. Analysis also suggests that stock colonies may possess a high level of intelligence and cognition, that the messaging provided by the spores is nuanced, and even subjectively unique to each colony. Patterns across multiple spores from a single colony even suggest a chemical signature processed by each stock group. Could these be thought of as stock names? No theories or sketch. No plants. No bacteria. So this is the only taxonomy. Whoop. How do I get out of here? Like that? Yeah, because I have the stock spore here. But when it says, like, further analysis is possible, I'm guessing I need more of them. But I only have duplicates of the shrill sac right now. So I should keep another stock spore. But she also said something about leaving markers on the map. Med subject. Medical assessment due. Generator active, running at 34% effective. Tidal turbines active, core stable. That's kind of cool pattern. Observation blister. Sonar system requires crew. She's up here with life support. Okay, let's go check out the dive map. Okay, so that's the way station we came from. Where are we? No. Sample request, stock scraper shell. I saw stock scrapers here when we crossed the forest. We should search this area for fragments of their shells. There's one. We need more fragments. Reef stock root. According to the map data, these caves cut back under the forest. Perhaps there are exposed roots inside. Sing stock tissue. Here, where strong currents batter the stock forest, might be a good place to find exposed or damaged sing stalks. The base has detected a suit transponder at these coordinates. Could this be Manet? We'll have to head out to the East Reef to find out. And then there's an obstruction here. Manet's notes mention something called the bloom across this rift. But until we have stronger propulsion, we won't be able to cross it. Okay. So this is where I guess we landed. And then this is the mapped region. Oh yeah, there's like a big ass map here. Confirm to dive to selected location. Okay, so we can only deploy at a way station. And then we have to navigate manually from there to these other locations. All right. Let us deploy. Terminal is available. I can recharge my power and oxygen. Oxygen seems to be full. So we can go back and try to get a stalker shell, I guess. Might as well go this way. I don't think we went this way before anyway, because I think we came up from the southeast there. Metal debris. It looks like Manet has had to salvage parts of the base to build what she needed to survive. She must have been here many months before I arrived. Split boulders. Some ruined equipment lies in the shelter of two boulders. An early way station site, perhaps? Open sand. Check this one out. Split boulders. More open sand. I think the stalker shell stuff's down here. Scraper or whatever. Scraper shells. Glittering stock. Stock forest. Alright, we'll go this way, I guess. Can I can't open my map, I don't think. M? No. What do we got here? Unlike in the southern reef, the stalks here are ordered in curving rows, tightly packed and evenly spaced. Alright, it's blocked. I've got some... things I can deploy. Ooh, what's that? A bloated stalk. If you go back to the other point, you think it states sample under the headline? Oh, like it'll say here whether or not there's a sample. Yeah, because here it says sample candidate. That's right. The growth is bloated and distended. The panels of chitin bulging outwards, and between the seams something flows within. Alright, let's get up close here, I guess. Yeah, this one has another sample candidate. So what is this thing? So this is a sample candidate here. But I'm not seeing one. Yeah, I don't see any samples here. What if I use this on it? Oh! Yeah, that did it. Microbial. Interesting. I'm losing oxygen, though, so I better get the hell out of here. What was that? Spark colony. Toxic microbial colony found inside bloated stalks. It's another signal stalk here. These are going to give me more shrill sacks. I mean, I might as well. I can always just dump them. But it's better to have too many than not enough. Especially if I get locked in somewhere. And I can use them to recover some oxygen if need be. Maybe I should do that and see how much I get. Yeah, full. Alright, we're going to go this way. Because I think this is the way that the shells were. Shell scrapers. Membrane of these stalks is thin enough to be translucent in areas, stretched to breaking point by whatever is inside. More bloated growth. The signal stalk. Thin passage. We're going to go to the thin passage, I think. We are looking for those shelled scrapers, I think. Stalk clearing. Oh, what was that? Another agile creature. Clouded shell. Ah. This might be the sample we were looking for. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Animal shell. Clouded shell, a piece of creature's shell with a cloud pattern. Right. Okay. We can go check out maybe that weird cavern with the corroded rocks, though I'm pretty sure I have a good idea what corroded them. Is these guys when they blow up. Starting to run out of these. Sandy clearing. Another bloated stock. When alarmed, these stocks burst open, releasing their toxic contents into the local water. Could they be defending themselves? If these stocks are isolating the bloats, perhaps it's because they're dangerous to the colony itself. Pulsing, pumping rhythm of these stocks' contractions suggests that some process is happening inside them. Is that a... Man, I am down to my last couple here. How does it clear a path? Does it kill them? No, I think it just frightens them. Like it creates a sonic... a noise and they like withdraw into the ground. Because it just makes a noise. It doesn't do anything other than that. Alright, got some more stock. Shrill pods or whatever. Bloated stalks seem to be precisely spaced out between the stalks. Are we damaging this colony by disturbing them? Well, we only disturbed one of them. So hopefully we didn't do too much disruption there. There's another one. We call them reef bloat now. Large bloated stalks that burst easily. That's enough data to log and classify these inflated stalks. I'm going to call them reef bloats. Expelling the toxic microbes held inside their bodies. Their movements suggest unseen processes. This side of the colony loops back towards its center, leading deeper between the stalks. Seems unlikely the bloats are simply individually diseased stalks. Their growth patterns suggest a system, a process. Yeah, I could hit both of them like this. Get my sample and get the hell out of here quick, though. With its chalky covering melted away by the bloat, this rock is a dull metallic sheen. Spectrums of light reflect across its surface. Beyond these stalks, I can see a sheer ridge rising up to the north. I don't want to get too... far here. It's a northern ridge. Tucked into the side of this corroded rock, a pile of stones with wormholes sit in the sand. Within a hole, something glitters. Ooh. Let's go check. Oh. Got an agile creature. Notice smaller spotted variants of these creatures. Another species, or perhaps sexual dimorphism. These might be the males. Oxygen went down a tick. Yeah, we took oxygen damage sitting in those toxic spores. I think because like filtration system or whatever. Another signal stalk, which I do need. Behind this tall stalk, layers of thick growth surrounding a maze of rocks blocking the passage back east. All right, we'll go and grab some more of these shrill pods, shrill sacks, and then we will head back to the way station. There's no other way through there, so we have to go around, I think. Sampling available. An animal egg. Delicious. A striped egg. An egg sampled from a spore-lined nest. Sorry I stole your eggs. It's for science. Oh, I can pick a direction this way. Nice. Get rid of that stuff. Yeah, see, pink here and here. So it drains power and oxygen. I'm going to be a daddy. Ray! A glittering stock with more samples. Kind of I have these already, don't I? Yeah, more shrill sacks. That's fine. I'm all full. I don't want to blow up any more of those toxic things right now. Ah, shit, the way behind me closed. Two eggs. That's right. I got breakfast. Bringing home some breakfast. Now we just need reef bacon. Big vast nothingness there. Outside of the shimmering perimeter of the western stock forest, almost nothing lives or grows on this finger of the reef. Calm waters. The central reef way station lies within a bubble of calm, but just to its north is a massive rift. Brings strong currents through the reef. Passage between these rocks leads out to the howling currents of the northern rift. Yeah, I'll probably hash them. I'm not going to eat them. Well, I mean, I'm a machine, so I don't eat them anyway. Oh, I guess I could put them into my reactor, but no. They are going to be researched. For sure. I am going to research them. We're going to get retrieved and drop these off at the base. Lab. How do I put stuff away again? Samples. Okay. So we are going to do a sample analysis on these spores. Spark colony. Reef bloat taxonomy entry updated. On the shell fragment. Stock scraper taxonomy updated. Oh, I can see Ellery walking around. It shows EV, Ellery Voss. It shows what section she's on. You can watch her walk around. That's interesting. Striped egg. No relevant taxonomy entries found. So we have an egg, but we don't know what it belongs to, so we can't update any taxonomy. What was that again? Stock spores. We got some theories updated. Chemical analysis of a stock scraper shell confirms not only are they made from stock membrane materials, their distinctive cloudy coloration comes from stalks too. Stalk coloration, like most fungal coloration, is reflective of the local water acidity and the medium the fungus grows in. This variance of amber, orange, yellow, and even green pigments is passed directly to scraper shells when consumed, resulting in beautiful whorls and blobs of color. A scraper shell is a living record of every stalk colony it is fed on, and therefore a marker of territory and social standing. Scraper shells could be used to help study the entire reef and its shifting ecosystem, each one a chemical map of the local history, readable for those who can learn the significance of its forms. And there we go. There's a sketch of what it looks like. That's the top. That's the bottom. Looks kind of like a weird horseshoe crab. Yeah, I'm like HAL 9000 just watching. It's cool, honestly. What do we got here? Severe weather alert. Hooray. Yeah, I love playing as like robots. I don't know why. I would like to be a robot someday, I guess. I like role-playing games where I get to play as a robot or a machine or something. It's cool. But yeah, there is a cool little sketch of it. Oh, we got a bunch of updates here. I thought we already had that one. Did I not read that, I guess? Thought I read that one already. Sing stalk behavior. Sing stalks are towering fungal stalks that through swaying produce a distinctive hum or groan. Part of the stalk ecology found on the central reef, the precise role of sing stalks is particularly obscure. Their singing seems to connect with the sonic communication between stalks, as seen from the stalk's use of shrill sacs as an alarm mechanism, but what they are communicating remains unclear. Notably, sing stalks are often coated in sporing fungal growths, which release spores as the stalks sway through the water. These spores, released high up in the water column, cover a large area of the reef. There's something tree-like in the structure of the sing stalks, so much so that they give the impression of an underwater fungal forest, strange and yet familiar. Analysis of the stalk bark sample has given some new insight into the sing stalks. Their entire biology is compressed into the chitin plates that surround each specimen. They are completely hollow. In fact, rather than being a single large stalk, sing stalks are actually many spirally entwined stalks which weave together to form a pillar-like shell. The scraping of these stalks as they move against one another produces the stalk's harmonic hum, which may not be a form of communication with other colonies as first thought, and instead a kind of internal metronome, there to synchronize the movements of each individual stalk within the weave of stalks. But if the sing stalks are the bark that surrounds them, this brings with it a new question. What do sing stalks contain? Further analysis is needed. Yeah, we already read that one, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Signal stalks are tall, thin, bubble-coated stalks which are often found beside other stalk colonies. Like other colloids, signal stalks have a chitin exterior, but unlike other species, they feature prominent irising pores. That's the name of the Collodia, is the name of the family. But unlike other species, they feature prominent irising pores that allow them to produce the large bubbles I have named shrill sacs. Through this, signal stalks act like the protectors of stalk colonies, their shrill sacs breaching when predators approach, resulting in a warning screech that causes nearby stalks to retract. That's what you're asking about, Smork. This makes them a target for creatures which graze on the stalks, and only some colonies are able to maintain a signal stalk protector. But how do these stalks produce their bubbles, and what dictates their growth patterns? Further analysis of their physical products and structure should help. Behavior. Shrill sac laboratory analysis shows they are formed from a coating of mucus, sealed around a pressurized mix of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The oxygen shows that the signal stalks are able to absorb oxygen from their surroundings, perhaps through their large pores. Meanwhile, the CO2 must be the result of a fermentation process within the stalk itself. This suggests the presence of a fungal symbiote, similar to yeast, within the stalk, and the possible production of ethanol as a byproduct of this process, though a tissue sample will be necessary to confirm this. Shrill sac production, meanwhile, seems to be a precise art. The pressurization, gas mix, and size of each shrill sac can differ from stalk to stalk. meaning that warnings can be directed to particular colonies and even individual stocks if necessary. And reef bloat. Reef bloats are large bloated stalks that can be found at the western border of the reef. Intimidating in their size and distorted shape, they resemble inflated sporing mushrooms covered in nodules of rampant fungal growth. Their membrane, which is stretched by the bloating process to an almost translucent sheen, is darker than a typical stalk, making the stalks themselves a shade of sickly orange. What role the bloats play in the reef stalk network is not immediately obvious, but their pulsing, pumping motion suggests that the bloats are either processing or producing the toxic microbes that are contained within their fragile membranes. Without analyzing the microbial colonies themselves, this will be difficult to ascertain. Laboratory analysis of the microbial colonies found within the reef bloats, spark colonies as I have come to call them, shows that these microbes are not of a group typically associated with stalk colonies. In fact, spark colonies appear to be made up of highly modified algae, with a wide metabolic range able to consume carbon dioxide, oxygen, metal, and toxic compounds with equal ferocity when supplied with a source of light. When metabolizing these substances, spark colonies produce a regular flow of charged electrons, making them ideal for use within a microbial fuel cell, or MFC. Their suitability for this use is suspicious. Are these really naturally occurring microbes? Why are they found only within reef bloats? Something isn't right here. Some foreign infectious agent, perhaps. Interesting. Alright. Anything new from EV? Any new logs? No. Alright. So, stored up a bunch of stuff, and we can head back out. We went all the way down there. They want more reef bloat. I think we're going to head east. We should be able to nip at these two on our way through these caverns here, or ravines maybe. So that's what we're going to do. Before we're done the stream here. Make it a little further. Actually, I'm thinking maybe we just call it, I think, for now. Honestly. Oh, can I save and quit anywhere? Okay, you know what? No, we'll go a little bit further then. If I can save and quit at any time, then we will do that. Right? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, we'll go a little further then. Layered outcrop. Ooh, fossil record, eh? There's an object there? Yeah. Fossil record. The heck is that? Is there anything here? There's nothing here. You tease. Had me thinking there was a fossil. Shadows of these huge outcrops, this pass leads toward the rift at the north edge and its fast-moving waters, but we want to go south and down a little bit. Towering outcrop. Oh, there's a little bit more fungus there. More signal stalks. Might as well pick up some more samples while we're doing this. Gives us 6. We can always ditch them if we don't need them. What is this? Split gullies. These gullies lead among the tall outcrops of the northern edge to the currents and open waters beyond. Alright, and we wanted to go southeast here. Let's make our way east to the source of that transponder signal. I was thinking the same thing. I don't know what to expect. The transponder is Manet's. There's some history between us, but I haven't seen her in years. Not since... Look, you don't need to worry about it. Let's just find her. I'm an AI. Gully opening. I think there's something down to the south here. There, look. A cave entrance cut into the side of the rift. Should allow us to bypass the rift, although I'm not sure where we'll emerge. Is that where the I think there was a sample down here ish in this area. Is it down? I think it's down and then just south a little bit. It looks like a very strong current there. So I guess we can't go that way. The round mouth of the cave stretches away into the rock. Stalks hum quietly in the dark. Strange evenness to the walls of this cave, almost as if it was a vast borehole drilled into the reef. An unnatural cave. More reef stalks. Stalks even seem to get down here. Perhaps they are less reliant on sunlight than I initially thought. We're deep in the rock now. What formed these hollowed-out caverns with their strange undulating walls? Undulating. I think there's a sample down here. I wonder how the stalks survive without sunlight. Maybe they are fed by the forest above. What do you think? I agree. It would make sense, a network of colonies tunneling through the entire shelf. There is a sample here that has been requested for taxonomological monologue purposes. Oh, these are just shrill sacks. No, those aren't the ones I want. There's a sample candidate. Caven has severed some sections of the stalk's root network, stretching down from the forest above. That's what I want. I want those roots. Yes, unknown. Give me the unknown samples. Fungal tissue. Stalk root. A tangle of silken roots from a stalk colony. Carbon enriched. I could use them for fuel also. Cave starts to get tight here, and in the shadows ahead, stalks crowd the tunnel. So I'll probably need to use shrill sacks to get through, maybe. They're thick and intertwined. Underground in the stark light of the headlamps, they resemble brittle, oversized worms. And yes, I do. Pop. Bright light from the east of this large cavern is broken up by tall pillars, casting strips of light and dark across the smooth walls. And then there was another thing, maybe on the other side, to the south. There was another thing to the south down here. Pillars punctuate the cavern, stalks crowded around their bases. They support the vast weight of the reef above. Oh, there's another one. That one looks different. Sporing stalk creature. These domed stalks are pumping out clouds of short-lived spores. They look like oversized mushrooms. These stalks are filling the water with spores. We should start logging information on them. I don't know if they're dangerous or not, but I guess we'll find out. Wait, hold on. Bloated creatures are pumping clouds of spores. Around them, stalk colonies right out of the sand. Alright, can we get a sample then? Fungal. They don't seem harmful. These spores are different. The stalks nearby seem to be stimulated by them. A clump of spores which seem to stimulate stalk growth. Could these spores be used to make stalks extend, to bring them out of hiding? We should test them out on a retracted colony. Okay, there's one. Yeah, there you go. Exactly what happened. Unlike other stalk spores which survive until they settle, the spores from these stalks dissolve moments after they're released. Stalks seem to be shriveling up. Is it because they are too exposed to the rift's withering currents? These sporing stalks seem to require very particular conditions to grow. I've seen so few elsewhere on the reef. Large growths seem to be sustaining this colony with their spores. Perhaps they carry nutrients, even chemical signals. We're going to go get another sample, I think. Soothe spore. Interesting. I'm full. Got 2 of each. I could use one. Might as well fill one up here and then grab another sample. All right. Far side of the cavern narrows into darkness. I can feel the faint pulse of a distant current ahead. There's a glittering stalk, which we don't need any more of those right now, so our sample container is full anyway. Current must have once run down this tunnel, scraping the walls into smooth lines. Now the stalks block the flow. Right. Boop. Tunnel head is thick with stalks. Not anymore. Light filters in from a large opening, making the spores drifting in the water glitter like sparks. Another signal stalk. Might as well take one while we're here. Look, those stalks in the cave mouth there are retracted. Perhaps if we could make them extend, they would block the current. I see. Strong currents. The northern current. Blocking it will help us pass. Alright, so we use these soothe spores on them. Take one of these drill sacks since we've got room. And then get out of here. They block the current. These spores encourage them to extend and fill the tunnel. These soothe spores, we can control the stalks to our advantage. This will be useful. So we have ways to both encourage their growth. There's a definite correlation between struggling stalk colonies and these sporing stalks. Are they helping support these colonies? So we have ways to extend them and retract them as we need to. Feel like maybe I should get rid of one of these and take one more of these, because I need some for samples, but I'm also using them to navigate around. Tucked into the rift wall, the shelf allows protection from fast-flowing water. Look out on the rift, a retracted stalk colony. If we can get them to extend, they'll provide shelter from the current. The wall here feels the full force of the current. Perhaps it can be slowed upstream. Yes, perhaps it can. There you go. Even this close to the wall, the darkness of the deep rift is intimidating. A huge slit in the face of this world. How deep does it go? I don't want to know. The current can be slowed or navigated. This is the place to do it, where the rift narrows and a gap opens up on both sides. This way, I have to go this way. That's where the other sample that's requested is down here. Sampling? Oh, that's more of those things, but I want another one. Do Wait a minute. Is this where I came from? I think this is where I came from. Ah. I wish I had a map while I was navigating. I think I have to block this one off too. Huge pillar sits out from the wall here, its top caked in retracted stalks. Small opening in the wall provides a little shelter from the howling rift, allowing some stalks to take up root here. This is where my sample is, I think. We are across. Thank you, stalks. Oh, and thank you to you too. Another smooth tunnel leads out toward the light. Circle of warm light shows this tunnel opens out into the upper shelf. What lies above? Let's go find out. Oh, what's that? Stalk canopy. Stalks are twisted together into a huge canopy. Incredible. They're pulsing as the pores across their surface open and close. These canopies are spectacular. I'll start logging observations. Let's see what we can find out about them. Blooming petals. Plant-like creatures seem unrelated to the reef stalk, their soft petals waving on thin stems. They appear to be photosynthetic plants. They float on long stems, shifting and swaying in the water. These are beautiful plants, single petals shifting in the sunlight. Let's start logging data on them. Is there a sample here? There is a sample here. Feels good to be out in the sunlight again. Let's head northeast along the finger of this reef. The transponder is at the tip. Take a plant sample. I want to take more than one. So, I guess I'm going to ditch a shrill sack. I'm just going to boop. Running out of room. While each plant seems to have a single wide petal, they group together forming fields of blooms, all angled toward the sun. A colony of stalks has twisted itself tightly across this gap in the rocks. Could they be protecting something? Let's go find out. Oh, it's blocked. Don't! I should have just dropped it up there then. Whatever. Can I get over to the canopy? I can. Where the rock shelf has fallen away into the rift, the roots of the canopy above have been exposed. We could sample them here. Let's do it. Is the next way back to the ship nearby? I don't know. I have to find a way station. There might... I think there is. I think that right there is the way station. There's a little square there. So I think we're okay. Fungal roots. I'd like to take 2 samples of them also if I can. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Alright. I am very much full of samples. Petals seem to shimmer as they twist and open. It's difficult to tell if this is involuntary or part of the plant's own movement. Coloration of these canopies is much lighter than other stalks. They glow pale yellow in the light of Gliese 667cc's 3 suns. Towering canopy of woven stalks pulsates in the soft current, the sunlight slipping through the gaps in its branches. We gotta just navigate this canopy here. On some petals, there's a thick clump of pollen on the lower part. I wonder how this is dispersed. It seems too heavy to float away. High up in the wide canopy, I can see the stalks are twisted around strange ribbed growths. What are they holding up there? Shimmer blooms. I'm going to name these plants shimmer blooms for the way they catch the sunlight. I wish I could share these discoveries with Manet. There's still so much to say. Wide, single-petal plants that come in a variety of hues. They appear to be primarily photosynthetic and produce a heavy, furry-looking pollen. There's a shimmering field here. Bright petals line this part of the reef, shimmering and swaying, parting easily as I pass among their delicate forms. We gotta get up here. Whoa, what is that? Is there sampling here? Bright pollen? I think I already have bright pollen, right? Canopy root, bright pollen. What is this guy? Reef cap. Domed mushroom-like stalks which appear to support struggling stalk colonies with a supply of special spores. Oh, that's the big dudes or whatever. With their strong resemblance to terrestrial mushrooms, I'm going to call them reef caps. These are the ones that were giving us the stalk soothe spore. Thriving colony. Fed by spores, shielded by a colony of stalks, this part of the reef seems to have fostered the ideal conditions for its own survival. It is very thriving here. Is that another way station ahead? Manet must have built them all across the reef. Canopy has many gaps between its higher stalks, as if something has fallen out or been removed from it. Scattered shadows of golden canopies and knee-deep in shimmering petals, this way station sits silent. In we go. We have a lot of samples to drop off. Okay, open up the terminal, see what data we can scrape from this place. Log download. Give me my power, please. Zoop, 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 zoop. Map data. Sync complete. Data released to pilot's console. The log suggests Manet was using this as some kind of staging ground for expeditions over the drop-off. She was looking for something out in the ocean, something deep, from the descents she logged here. Manet doesn't do things at random. The way stations, the research base, this is calculated. I feel like we were already 10 steps behind her and we've barely even started. Let's get to that suit transponder. It isn't far from here. If we head straight north to the shelf's edge, it should be there. Okay, but I am going to get retrieved before we do that, because we have a lot of samples to hand in. All right, let's drop all this stuff in here. All right. We have some basic taxonomy for some of the new stuff that we found. Reef cap. Large domed stalks, which like terrestrial mushrooms, release spores from gills on the underside of the cap. In the wider stalk ecology, reef caps appear to play the role of emergency response, growing in areas where the stalk colonies are failing or are heavily predated upon and proceeding to shower them with spores. However, these spores seem to differ from those released by other species of stalk, in that they quickly dissolve when expelled. Analyzing these spores is important to better understand the reef cap's role. Are they reproductive spores tasked with adding newly seeded stalks to existing colonies? Or nutrient spores intended to boost the health of dying or diseased individuals? And then we have our first plant species. Shimmer blooms are single-petaled plants found primarily in the sheltered waters of the East Reef. As they produce pollen as well as photosynthesize, I have classified the visible portion of these plants as petals, though they could also be thought of as leaves, serving both functions simultaneously. Shimmer blooms can be green like most terrestrial plants, however they can also be found to be yellow, red, or purple in color. The image of a patch of blooms is a beautiful one, and as they shift in the soft currents they often seem to shimmer. The lower part of their single petal features many small stamens, which produce a fluffy clumped pollen. Analysis of this pollen may provide some insight into the life cycle, which we will do next time. Tomorrow, I guess. I'll play some more of this tomorrow morning. It's fun. It's very calm and soothing. And interesting. And I like playing a robot and exploring with the little lady scientist in me. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning for our Saturday morning Subnautica-like stream. Okay. Smork, Free Frag, thanks for coming by and hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate your company. I hope you enjoyed the ending of Sanabi there as well. Okay. Yeah, okay, awesome. Look forward to see you, Smork. You be good too, Free Frag. Both of you be good. You won't be around tomorrow? Okay. Well, I will post it up on YouTube as usual when I'm done. All right. Have a great night. Smork, enjoy your weekend. Free Frag, hope to see you tomorrow. If not, that's okay too. But you both be good. Take care of each other, everyone who's watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a great night. Okay, see you tomorrow. Hi. See ya. See ya. Have a great night.